There's a lot of benefits to growing organically. A lot of people buy organic produce because of the environmental benefits associated with it, but if you're growing fruit and veg, there's a lot of benefits around soil health. There's a lot of research that backs up the claim that you can say there's at least 30% more biodiversity on organic farms and smallholdings and crofts. Healthier soil if you're managing the soil for soil health and your soil microbiology. There's health benefits associated with the food that comes from organic systems. There's a lot of research into the nutritional differences between organically produced and conventionally produced vegetables and fruit, for example. And there's the sort of social benefit of growing together, in a sort of market garden context. There's a lot more people per acre growing in that kind of system as well. Of different benefits to being certified, it might not be for everybody. It depends kind of on your scale and the sort of market that you're selling to. So I think one of the things, if you're starting out in a new system or enterprise, think about what your market is and what your kind of story is going to be. But a lot of people find value in being certified organic, partly because of the trust that you can associate. Customers trust the organic label. It's a legal standard. There are a massive set of standards around it that organisations like Soil Association and others kind of work on all the time to improve and refine and sort of adapt as things change. So there's the kind of trust and certainty there about what that represents. There's a lot of systems that have some of the kind of benefits associated with organic but don't have that kind of structure and standards associated with them. So if you're growing organic products and selling them, you can say that it has been grown and produced to these kind of standards. So that's one of the big things that people find as a benefit. Aside the sort of technical things and the networking and the resources that we produce, we also do sort of campaigning, public campaigning, like Organic September, where we support producers, processors, sellers, shops and restaurants with materials to help sort of amplify that message of organic and what are the benefits and why people should be buying organic. So we do a lot of things like that to kind of support our licensees of all kinds with materials, and we have a new programme called Organic for All as well, which is kind of tying in all the different strands of our work to make organic food more accessible for everybody, and for it to be more accessible to grow it and produce it and link in with those markets and networks as well. The demand for organic in the most recent market report from Soil Association suggests that demand for organic is rising year on year and across multiple different kind of areas of the market. Dairy and produce, fresh produce, are the kind of things that people buy first, or their kind of baseline of organic sales, and other things kind of build out from that. So reasons that people say they buy organic produce and dairy particularly are for that being pesticide free, for the kind of associated health benefits from eating food that's been produced in a really careful way, animal welfare in the case of eggs, your market garden might have hens in it as well, and the kind of environmental aspect. But being pesticide free I think is a really strong selling point for organic market gardens, and I think kind of just get to know your market and what is your local market around you. The kind of ideal scenario for small organic market gardens is to have sales into very short localised supply chains. So if you're sort of establishing in a geographic area, get to know what the local market is like. Are there other producers? Are there restaurants or cafes or shops that you could kind of tap into as well? And then that kind of feeds into thinking about what your kind of sales model could be as well. And thinking about like what your story is for your produce and your place, I think is really important in terms of selling your produce. Like, why tell the story of why you're doing what you're doing, because that really helps people to connect with what you're growing. When you're thinking about your customers and who your customers are going to be, it's really important to kind of tell your story as well, and why you're doing what you're doing, and what the story of how you came to be at this place is. That really helps people to connect with the place where the food is grown and the people who are growing it, and tell the stories of the people as well as why are you passionate about organic food. There's a lot of different kind of ways that you can sell your food, and you don't have to just stick to one as well. I think a lot of people have multiple kind of routes to market, if you like. A kind of popular one is the community supported agriculture model, where people have a share, so they commit to buying your veg box, for example, for a whole year at a time, and that is really helpful for allowing you to kind of plan in advance what you're going to be growing, the volumes that you need, what seeds might you be needing to plan to buy for the following year, or saving seed if you do that as well. So that's a really nice model for on a very small scale. If you're able to sell direct to your customers, kind of using your story and that connection, then you get, there's no middlemen involved, and you get the most value from selling your product straight to people. There's a few good online platforms now for support in veg box schemes to kind of sell your boxes, so that you don't have to sort of build a whole website from scratch. So look into kind of online sales and the kind of platforms that you can use for that. Selling into restaurants and cafes and local shops is also a good thing to have alongside your direct sales to customers. Farmers markets is another nice one if there's some local to your area. And there's wholesale as well, but it depends kind of what scale you're on. So I think thinking about what scale you're on and what your local kind of market is like will kind of inform some of those ways that you could sell your produce. But talk to other organic market gardens, see what they're doing, go and visit other gardeners, market gardeners, and kind of, learn from other people that are established as well. There is support available for converting to organic. So if you have land that isn't already organic, or you're starting a new business, I think the first step would be give Soil Association or a certification body, or a farm advisory service a phone, to have a chat through what that process looks like and the support that can be available. So there's the Agri Environment Climate Scheme through Scottish Government that's open each spring, that can provide financial support to cover the costs of conversion of your land and your crops, and also your certification. So that, I think, kind of covers your certification fee, and it's a real help if you're on a very small scale with a low turnover. That's a really important thing that you should be able to access to help you pay for that. But going through that kind of conversion process, or thinking about converting to organic and certifying, I think the first step is give us a call, and we can take you through, the kind of whole process and see if it's right for you. If people want to get in touch or to find out more about just the organic principles, or whether they might want to be certified, or how, where do you start if you want to set up a market garden? There's a lot of resources online. There's some really good organisations like Organic Growers Alliance and Landworkers Alliance that we work quite closely with as well. But yeah, if people want more information, they can get in touch with us at Soil Association Scotland. Look it up online, and we'll put the link in the description as well. And people can just get in touch, and we can signpost to lots of different resources, because there's a lot of support there.